Hello, welcome back. This is the demonstration for scenario number 3 of the EARTH-ROMULAN War. This one's called Diplomatic Escalation. So, what have we got this time, Jeff?
So this is one that's about timing more so than the others. The idea is both fleets are hurrying to reach a planet on very short notice, and so each side gets one ship into orbit at the start of the game, and then one ship into orbit at the end of turn two, and then the rest of your fleet at the end of turn three. So it's a much more one-on-one or two-on-two thing at the very start. Nick has drawn those. Why don't you describe what you did there, Nick? That's basically the place that you can set up your one ship.
So, yes, for the first ship, we would like you to be placing it within range 1 of the planet, but in this particular triangle here. And the way that I think is probably the best way to do it is to go and get yourself 3 range rulers and set them up, one directly down and one on each of the lines going like that. And then I will just show you the left hand side of my screen. If you go up to draw and you click on the pen, so for the drawing, and you bring it down, so let's just do that, then I just suggest you draw from the start of that range 1 as best as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, to the middle and then all the way up. And at that point you can just click erase all drawn lines once you've set up your ships. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically it for setup. I think it's fairly
So this
straightforward.
only it's only
Yeah.
I don't know how to move that. Thanks. This is just for one ship and just for the round one thing. So the way it works is whatever ship has the largest hull value in your fleet. So do you have just one biggest ship there, Nick?
I
That's your Prometheus, right?
Yep, so my Prometheus with a whole value of 4.
Okay, so that's the one that he has to set up in that initial range. For me, I have two different Valdor class ships, so they both have the same hull value, so I can actually choose which of my ships is going to set up in that spot. So, and the other thing is you have to be completely within the boundary lines. You can't just have a corner hanging in. So
Yep.
that one right there is not allowed. Uh, and neither is that. It's within this sort of quartered donut shape, and you have to be completely in it.
Yep. So
So you set up your ships based on initiative. So this one, the initiative roll will be particularly important. Um,
and there's nothing stopping you jumping over the planet in the first turn,
that's right.
or there's nothing stopping you running away for the first turn and waiting for reinforcements. So I've got a
Yep.
Prometheus
Yep.
class that can do a 4 bank out of here and or a 6 forward or something like that. So I might choose to stick around and wait for what's probably going to be my Saber class coming in next. So I could potentially stall for 2 rounds, but not everyone will want to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll fly around here for 2 rounds, and then at the end of round two, we use the same criteria again. So I would have to bring in my other Valdor, and I think at that point, Nick, you have several.
So I'll get rid of
Uh,
these draw
oh no,
lines.
no, you would have to bring in your Saber as
Yes.
the largest remaining whole ship. So that's right. If we did something here,
So we've been fighting, however we've gone about it. Let's choose the map. So with the new update, I think it's probably worth mentioning that changing the maps now is just a right click on the map, and you can even
mhm.
go straight back to the setup map in the right click. So you might want to just use that. But actually, no,
Remember you have to set up all the way, yeah, as
that's
far
it.
back as possible
Yeah.
for your
So touching
reinforcements.
your board edge. So in my case, so obviously in this particular position, it's not particularly beneficial for Jeff because he's flying straight into my Saber class, and it's going to take a while for his Valdor
Yeah,
to.
if everyone's heading that way. Yeah.
So you might want to sort of preempt your positions maybe a turn or two before the before the reinforcements come in as well. You need to be mindful of where you're getting lured into by your opponent.
Yeah, yeah, and another big thing here is cloaked mines. There is no particular special rule in this scenario 3 about cloaked mines. So if a lot of times we see the little ships carrying cloaked mines, but this is a time where the little ships are not going to reach a planning phase until round 4 planning phase to put their mines down. So the board's going to be totally full of things by then. But if you bring a big ship with cloaked mines out, like I did, there's a wide open board for a while, and maybe some new strategic options that usually you don't have.
It's important to note one more thing. We didn't actually mention this in scenario number 2, but it's the planet token in the middle is a planet and can be used to trigger things like Genesis effect. And
Oh, right. Good point. Yeah.
the depot planets in scenario number 2 are also planet tokens and can also trigger things like Genesis effect as well.
That's right. So I think there's as many as 3 of the 6 scenarios that could have planets. There's another one where you have an option to put down planets versus obstacles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a legal planet, and those are the things that are obstacles. They aren't the normal named obstacle, even though they serve a different purpose as well.
Yeah. So after we've gone on for yet another round, finally you will then be placing all of your remaining ships for the final round. So I've still got 3 to place, and again they will be coming in from the very board edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple things I want to say about that. We're used to whoever has initiative places their ship first in the case of a tie at the start of the game. The first time there's a reinforcement, it's at the end of round 2, not the start of round 3. So initiative won't have changed yet in that case. And similarly here for the reinforcements, this is at the end of round 3 rather than round 4. So that helps you decide who places first in the case of ties. Although in this case, I think everyone's going to be heading towards the action, so it's maybe not as big a deal. There was also a question that got raised: what happens if you destroy the first ship early on? Maybe the Prometheus catches me and it's multi-vector stuff and destroys the Valdor. That'll be a point where I have no ships on the board, but my whole fleet is not destroyed yet, so the game does not end.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I tell you what, we might as well, just while we're here, quickly skip on to multi-vector assault mode.
Yeah, while we're here, sure.
Yeah. So it is a new card, and just to demonstrate, it is a very powerful card, but it is also one that is a bit tricky to pull off. So multi-vector assault mode is... Let's have a look. So it's a disable this card, but it is at range 1, and it's basically one attack. So think of it as one attack as your normal attack, which you can do out of your forwards and rear arc at range 1 with your 90-degree arc, for example, on the Prometheus. But obviously you have to be able to get the ship in. So at the moment, it's got no ships currently at range 1 in its forward or rear arc. So at the moment, multi-vector assault mode literally cannot be triggered.
Did I stay too far out? Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's pretend for a second that I have got you there. So I will then do my first initial attack, which will be 4 dice. Obviously, you can add more dice to it using other things like Denatra and other things. Or I suppose not in this particular event, but there are plenty of ways to beef up your dice. Once you've done that single attack, you then get to place 2 mission tokens. So let me grab 2 mission tokens. These are also out of your forward or rear arc at range 1.
No, those are 360. You can put those anywhere. But it's still range 1.
Okay, no, I'm corrected. So I can place them, for example, here or here, again, provided they're range 1. Let's just double check that rear arc. So I can place them on the edge there, like so. And then they will each do another 4 dice attack, and it will be within range 1 of that particular token as well. So in this particular case, Denatra was out of range of the Prometheus. However, Denatra is within range 1 of this mission token, so I can use it to shoot Denatra. and Laris is completely out of my arc, but again, Laris is within range 1 of this mission token, so I can use it to shoot Laris as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's worth contrasting this with Disruptor Bombardment. On that one, you place one token down and it can shoot everyone that's within range of it. In this one, you're going to put exactly 2 tokens down first and then do your attacks. And each token can only attack one enemy ship, but it can be in any direction. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. You can attack the same ship multiple times.
That's right. Even if you attacked whoever that was at the start, the Soterus,
yeah,
you can attack it again or even a third time if you want. So
exactly.
what Nick's done is he's kept his options open by putting these tokens where he did. This one can attack 2 possible ones, and this one can attack 2 possible ones. So first you put the 2 tokens down, then you start carrying out your attacks, and you might change your mind on the second one about who to go after based
Exactly.
on what the
If I
dice do the first time.
if I didn't kill it first time with the primary weapon attack, then I might kill it the second time with the mission token.
Mm-hmm.
If I did kill it first time, then I've got an option to then take on that, and there's so many options. I'm loving multi-vector assault mode at the moment, and
um, I also want to point out one thing, which is just there's an official ruling from WizKids that for Disruptor Bombardment, you cannot increase the range of it with the Kelvin Uhura card. And that's also true, we've ruled, for this weapon. Everything's got to be range 1. You can't use Uhura to suddenly make it all these things range 2.
because
Basically, Uhura does not function.
it would literally break the game.
Yeah, if you could do those all at range 2, it would let you hit someone way far away, and it's just too fiddly to try and make some sort of partial thing that you can affect this range but not that one. It's just we didn't want to go down that path.
No.
So the most straightforward and the best for game balance, like you're saying, is basically Uhura cannot help this card.
Yes, it's still a
It
powerful card, but it's obviously trickier to pull off because you've got
yeah,
that little range 1 limit for your first attack.
that's right. That's right.
And it's also worth mentioning as well that interface generator and other attack cancelling gimmicks will cancel that first attack, meaning that you cannot then perform any further parts of the text.
That's right.
So it will cancel the
we
whole
have a
thing.
ruling. If you cancel an attack, then something else that says after you attack or after attacking or whatever, you cannot then proceed to do those things because you really did cancel the attack. So that's right. If I'd had the interface on this ship, the only one you could hit at first, right?
Yeah.
If I'd had interface and used it, then that shuts down the rest of the attack, and you don't get to place tokens or any of those things.
Yeah.
So there are counters to it. It's still a fun card.
Yeah. Okay, so that's scenario number 3. So we'll move on to scenario number 4.
Sounds good.